Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to deploy your own Linktree gateway on BOS. So if you don't know what a gateway is a client-side application that lets you basically have custom UI and UX for components on BOS. And what a component is their front-end pieces of JavaScript code stored on-chain, in this case, near. And so these are examples, if you go to near.org/gateways, of different gateways. And near.org itself is a gateway. So everything in this nav bar right here is kind of that custom UI and UX that's gateway specific, and that everything under is a component. So if you go to develop here, the BOS directory is actually a component. And these are examples, and this is an aggregation of different gateways, and they even have examples of their GitHub and one-click deploys to Vercel. So I'm going to be leveraging a one-click deploy for the Linktree gateway, which is something I just dropped recently. And what it does is it is a version of a gateway that has no navbar, only shows the component. And the component it will be leveraging is this Linktree component that essentially takes the social.near contract. And if you don't know what the social.near contract, this is the contract that powers the BOS. All widgets or components are saved under the data tree under that account, and also all things about the profile information. And under the profile information, there's things like the profile image, and there's even a link tree where you can put things like GitHub, Telegram, and Twitter. And so what this component does, if you look at the source code, is it takes in whether you're logged in, the context account ID, or whatever goes into the props. And so what this gateway does is it prompts the user for an account ID environment variable and then passes that into the prompt. And that way you can easily deploy your own gateway of a link tree. And so you can deploy your own Linktree gateway where essentially you can update the information from any gateway based on updating the entries or the links in your social graph underneath that account. And so the reason why this is advantageous as opposed to using Linktree, which is a product where you can aggregate your links and have it on one page, is first, it takes away the made with Linktree page, and you can even customize it with your own component and forking this component right here for custom themes. And I'll add more custom themes later. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But then you can also have it under your own domain without paying Linktree. So this is a completely kind of decentralized way to do front ends, but it's also a way to bypass product cost. And so what was done was I basically forked this gateway template made by Proximity, which took out the navbar. And if you go to nearbuilders.com/linktree, you'll basically see this Linktree BOS gateway. And then if you go here to Linktree, so this is an example of one. Here is one showing the OG Rust.near account and all of his associated links here too. So this is what it will look like. So the setup is pretty easy. There is a one-click deploy link in the README. And let me just first name the repository. You can make it a private repository. I'm just gonna keep it private because I like keeping things okay. And then let me call it near hacks social. I'm gonna create. And then it's going to prompt a bunch of environment variables. And you can go and you can click learn more. And so these are essentially everything you want to do, but the only thing custom you want to do is your account ID. The theme I'll put later may be light, dark. I just haven't gotten to it yet. For now, you can put default in there, and I'll keep you guys up to date. And you can update the environment variables later in Vercel. And so, what was it again? I also have it here as a preview. So it's mainnet https/near.org theme. I'm gonna do near hacks.near, which is an account for near hacks, and then default. And then let's do deploy. It's gonna take a little second to deploy, only like a few minutes, but I'm in these streets right now, if you can't tell. So I'm going to pause. Deployed, it actually only took 1 minute, actually less than that. So if you go here, it automatically took what we put in the environment variables, and it passed it in, and then it shows an example. Unfortunately, we don't have any tags. We only have the Twitter key, the Twitter link, but we can actually change that from any gateway. So here's another gateway I deployed that I'm using for kind of NDC purposes and like testing and things like that. So we're gonna add additional links. So let's say near builders as a link, and then mirhack.com, and maybe we add dev and then mirhack. So I have Meteor wallets, so I like it because it doesn't request a redirect. So I think it updated. Let me check if it updated. Okay, so it updated here. Now if I check this gateway, all right, you can see here I used another gateway to update on-chain on the social.near contract under the NearHack social graph to update the tags and the links. However, I don't like that it says Vercel.app because I don't want them to know I'm using Vercel. I'm a professional. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into continue the dashboard. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to domains. And then I'm going to actually, I configured this ahead of time because, and I just set some easy environment variables where I basically set a CNAME record at cname.vercel-dns.com and then an A record at 76.76.21.21, which is just like how you do Vercel stuff. And then I'm gonna add social.nearthehacks.com, and since it was configured, I specified that subdomain under the record. Give it some time. It's generating the SSL certificate. All right, bam. So I have a custom link tree under a subdomain or a domain, depends on how you want to do it, on my own gateway. The crazy thing, the pretty dope thing about this is I can actually, let me see if this works. I don't know if this uses the hash router or not. Like the big thing about this is, yeah, like I can access any component underneath this website, but like that's just the cool thing about the gateway. You can interface any component under it, but my UI and UX hides it, so it only shows what is showing on the front page. And so yeah, that's how you deploy your own Linktree BOS gateway and update that and set it under your own domain.